Hello, my name is Sherry, and I'm bringing you another melanated moment for Black History Month. I've been seeing this a lot on social media lately. So today's topic will be on the Star Spangled Banner. Francis Scott Key is going to write this poem about the Battle of Fort McHenry, where the British were bombarding this U.S. fort, and it was expected that the fort was going to fall to the British. And he wakes up the next morning, and ta-da, there's our flag. He writes the poem. It's then set to a song. Later on, it will be our national anthem. What many people don't realize is that the Star Spangled Banner is four verses. The one that many people have a problem with is verse three. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on this one. Francis Scott Key was a slave owner. And not only was he a slave owner, but he absolutely bought in to the ethnogenic theories that Black people are inferior. And I'm going to read you a couple of quotes that he had to say about it. Quote, Black enslaved people are a distinct and inferior race of people, which experience proves to be the greatest evil that afflicts the community. Unquote. And as for abolitionists, he believed that anyone who would associate and amalgamate with the Negro should be executed. So that is the man who wrote our national anthem. So it would make sense then that in verse three, he's going to say some things that are a little bit, a little bit much for us. And I'm going to read those for you too. And where is the band who so vaultingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country, should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps. Pollution, no refuge can save the hireling or slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner triumph doth wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. His poem will later be turned into a song. It will be sung for the first time at a sporting event during the Civil War. We'll hear it a whole bunch after that. During World War One, it's going to be like rallying cry. The veterans from World War One will work really hard at trying to get this to be our national anthem. They're going to use it a lot during World War Two. Basically, a recruitment tool to drum up patriotism and that wonderful feeling that you get at that end, where it's just like the land of the free and the home of the brave. A couple of history facts to put this into context. During the Revolutionary War in the War of 1812, Great Britain offered enslaved Africans their freedom if they would fight on the side of the British. That's not something that the colonists were doing. That's not something the Americans were doing. So, freedom. So we will have about 3,600 people of African American descent join the British Corps of Colonial Marines. And about 5 to 700 of them will actually see battle. They will join a group called the British Corps of Colonial Marines. And this is that band that Francis Scott Key is talking about in the third verse. They're the ones that he's talking about. You can't hide anywhere because we will hunt you down and we will kill you. That is what he is talking about. Now, after the end of both wars, you will see a bunch of these people who fought on the side of the British be sent to Great Britain or to the islands that the British own in the Caribbean. But the ones who were captured, they're going to be massacred. And this is what he's talking about in that song. The original song that was supposed to stand for the United States was Yankee Doodle, but a bunch of people didn't think that it was complex enough to be our national anthem. So they chose the Star Spangled Banner. Lawmakers will vote to adopt the Star Spangled Banner as our national anthem in 1931. But the state of voting rights at that time means that African Americans were largely disenfranchised at that time and had no say in the election of the people who will then decide that this is going to be a song that stands for everyone. But in 1905, James Weldon Johnson created a Black national anthem called Lift Every Voice and Sing. And this, if you look at all the words in that one literally could apply to everyone. Fast forward to the last few years, and you will notice that both Lift Every Voice and Sing and the Star Spangled Banner are sung during the Super Bowl. 60% of the NFL happens to be Black, and this event takes place during Black History Month. I don't have a horse in this Super Bowl race, but what I can tell you is that everyone has the right to protest because of the First Amendment. So if you would like to boycott the Super Bowl because you don't like the idea that they are playing Lift Every Voice and Sing, again, you also need to keep in mind that those athletes and their allies also have the right to protest the Star Spangled Banner, which never stood for them. They never had a say in picking, and it literally contains language that denigrates their ancestors. Thank you for joining me for this melanated moment. If you like these moments, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. And come and see me at thehistoryadventure.com. You'll have access to all the rest of my social media outlets where we can have further conversations about this topic and other topics. You'll also find some classes out there for your kiddos that they can take on Black history. There's a coupon code for my introductory course in my bio. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Happy Black History Month.